Today I'm going to share about how I develop my recipes, how much work, time and energy goes behind creating a recipe, and I'm not talking about the filming part because that's what I already covered. So this video, it's a prequel of that video. I'm testing French fries recipe and I've been testing it for months now. I mean literally months, and call it crazy, but this is how it is. So today I'm testing baked fries recipe. You know what, whenever I say baked fries, it sounds weird to me because a fries is called a fries because it's fried, and if it's not fried then what should it be called? Confused?
सी फ्राइज अब सिर्फ ये इसलिए नहीं रहा कि वो फ्राई होती है. अब फ्राइज उसकी आइडेंटिटी है. यू कांट चेंज इट्स आइडेंटिटी. समझी? सो बेक्ड फ्राइज.
Number one on my list is the idea. Now, ideas can come from anywhere. For example, I like pasta. I love the combination of spinach and corn, and bam, we got a new recipe which is spinach corn pasta. Let me give you one more example. Jatin loves fries. I mean, I just can't explain how much he loves fries. Let's ask him directly.
अरे पसंद है. हाउ मच क्या होता है? इतना बोलूं? I love fries.
But I don't like to deep fry stuffs, and that's when I came up with the idea of making the baked version of the French fries so that I can make it for him anytime he wants to have it. I still yet to master the recipe, but I want it. I will do it. Apart from that, I also get my ideas from the restaurant menus, from the foods that we eat out, or to a friend's place, anywhere. I just keep my taste buds charged up all the time. I try to identify the taste, the texture, flavor, so that I can create something similar to that in my home. And I think I got this from my mom. So, hey mom, hi. Now, once the idea is set, then comes the hard work, and that is the research part. So, what I do, I first look for the recipes that are already available online. I read about the ingredients, research about them. I also try to analyze or understand the steps and the methods and all the procedures which is used in creating that recipe. So for example, if in the French fries I'm using peanut oil, I need to know why peanut oil, what does it do, what if I substitute peanut oil with mustard oil or olive oil. So I need to have the clarity of each and everything, and I test, like after reading I test with peanut oil, olive oil, mustard oil, or whatever oil I have in my home. Alright, now I'm boiling all three kind of potatoes separately in water with vinegar added to it. Now there's a whole science behind why vinegar is added to the water, because of the starch and sugar and pectin which is there in potatoes. I am so proud of myself. I mean, I've done a lot of research to come to this point when I can say and use these kind of words, but I'm not going to get into it. I'm also planning to freeze a batch of potatoes after boiling it, because I've read in one of the articles of McDonald's that they freeze their fries before actually, making them. So let's see how it performs. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. Wish me luck. Next is write down the recipe. Now that happens in two parts. One is when I'm researching about the recipe, and second is when I'm actually testing it. So how does it work? Before testing the recipe, I write down all the ingredients, rough estimation of the quantity and the steps that I'm going to follow. And then when I'm actually testing the recipe, if I make any changes, any modification, or I substitute any ingredient, I note it down then and there, because in my case, chances are that if I leave it for the later, then I might forget what ingredients I have added, how much I have substituted. So I need to write it down then and there. No questions asked. Now let's move on to the next point, and that is one step at a time. Let me explain it to you. So whenever I'm testing any recipe, I first try to follow the exact same recipe. I try to understand the taste and the texture of that particular dish, and then I start making changes to that recipe. I substitute one ingredient or the other, but that all happens one at a time. Especially when I was new to baking, I wanted to make the recipes using whole wheat flour. I wanted to make them eggless or vegan, but how I did it, I followed the exact recipe first and then I started making changes to it. So for example, when I made focaccia bread, By the way, let me take a pause here and let you know that if you haven't tried a focaccia bread, you must give it a try. It's an art, really. And all the recipes that I mentioned in this video, I'll put all the links in the description box, so do check it out and do give it a try. Anyway, what I was saying, that when I started making focaccia bread, first I made it with the refined flour, and when I gave it a thumbs up, then I moved to the another approach to make the refined flour focaccia bread. I just wanted to improvise it, so I changed the approach, and when I mastered that, then I moved to the whole wheat focaccia bread. So moral of the story is one step at a time. Next we have my favorite point, and that is get creative. I believe that there is no rule in cooking. Come on, repeat after me. There is no rule in cooking. Recipes, they're just a guideline, so accept that with a pinch of salt. So for example, when I started researching about baked fries recipe, everybody was using russet potatoes. Now russet potatoes, they are not very commonly available in India, and even if it's available, they are very expensive. So in my recipe, I just didn't want to use russet potatoes and share the recipe. I wanted to experiment with the potatoes that are commonly available in the market. But in some cases, if an ingredient is used in a recipe, it has a particular significance to it. For example, for sushi, you need rice vinegar. I mean, you just can't make it with regular white vinegar, and you can trust me on this because I have made some real serious sushi blunders. Yes, that's right. And that leads us to our next point, and that is the last one, which is accept the failures. I've been trying this recipe for months now, and I just can't tell you how many markets we went to, how many potatoes we bought, how many times I tried this recipe just to get it perfect. But with all the failed attempts, I learned so many new things. I learned about different kinds of potatoes. I learned about what potato is suitable for what kind of recipe, and all these things are possible only and only if you're open to the failures. A lot of times people tell me that they cannot use their microwave or their oven, or they just can't cook. So I would like to say that cooking, like any other thing, it has its own journey. I mean, you burn to learn, isn't it? And that's all for today's video. Now you know how much time and energy is needed to create a recipe for you guys, but that's totally worth it when you send me a message and say that your recipes are simple. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much for watching this video. But before you go, please hit the like button on this video, because that's the only way to help this channel, this community grow. And please subscribe also. And I'll see you next time. Bye.